तुझसे राहते तुझसे चाहते तू जो मिली एक दिन मुझे मैं कहीं हो गया लापता ओ जाने जा बोलो जहां मेरी बाहों में आ भूल जा
Jungkook, what are you doing with her? You both flinched on hearing Mrs. John's loud voice and instantly moved away from each other. Mrs. John approached both of you. What was happening here? You panicked badly. Mom, actually what? Mom, she was feeling a bit sad because of her mother's health, so I was just comforting her. He cursed himself mentally for stuttering. Are you sure you're not lying? She asked in a serious tone. No, Mom, not at all. You can ask Ryan. Then she shifted her gaze on you and you quickly nodded out of nervousness. Then why you both are acting as if you have done some crime? No, Mom, actually you came out of the blue, so... just leave it. I came to tell you that I have called Maria for dinner today, so come back early from office. Your face's expressions changed. Mom, again? What again? You're going to marry her. Can't you give her some time? She said, crossing her arms against her chest. As if I'm getting married willingly, he said in his mind, scrolling his eyes. Ryan, go to the kitchen and prepare for the dinner. She ordered you while coming towards Jungkook. You just nodded and keeping your head down, you left from the room. Mom, I don't have time for these things, he said and turned towards the window. I'm skipping this for now, but you can't run away from this. Be ready, I'm postponing this dinner for Sunday, she said, facing his back and left the room. Meanwhile, Jungkook didn't even reply to her statement. Mrs. John invited Maria to have dinner with them, so she came over Jungkook's place to spend some time with him. They were sitting on the dining table. Mrs. John was sitting beside Maria facing Jungkook. Vine was standing next to Jungkook for serving food to them. She served the dishes and stood a little closer to Jungkook. It was like they were talking with their eyes. As they both were secretly talking glances of each other, they were busy in their own world, but then they didn't know that Maria was noticing all this while talking with Mrs. John. Yes, but does he have to be so dedicated all the time? I feel like I'm always second to his job. I'm sure he doesn't mean to neglect you, Maria. He always loves you very much. She attempted to solve the situation. Maria sighed dramatically before saying, I just wish he would show it more. It's like he doesn't even care about our marriage anymore. Jungkook clenched his jaw. He was struggling to keep his composure. Mrs. John tried to change the subject. Well, you know how men can be, dear. Sometimes they get so focused on their careers that they forget about everything else. Maria nodded, but with a hint of malice. Yes, I suppose so, but still, it's so frustrating. Jungkook forced a tight-lipped smile, his fist clenched under the table. Mrs. John cast a glance at her son. I will have a word with him later, Maria. I'm sure he will make more time for you. Maria smirked. I hope so, Mrs. John. Otherwise, I might start to wonder if he's interested in someone else, she said while eyeing on you. Jungkook's eyes flashed with anger, but he says nothing. Maria sipped wine, her eyes fixed on you. I don't like my person having a woman around them, she chuckled while saying this, and you lowered your head a little to hold yourself back, but you couldn't. Just kidding, you know I'm joking, right? You fed up, giving Maria a silly smile. I understand, even if you weren't. I don't like women around my person too. You smirked a little. Mrs. John's eyes flashed with anger. Ryan, how dare you talk to Maria like that? You have crossed the line. Get on your knees and apologize to her right now. I'm sorry, Miss John, but I won't apologize for defending myself. Maria acted hurt, her voice trembled. Oh, Mrs. John, I can't believe a mere maid would say such things to me. It seems you have given your servants too much freedom. Mrs. John fumed with anger. Maria, don't worry. I will handle her. Andy, you should fire her. I don't think a mere maid should have such an attitude. Jungkook finally broke the silence, his tone stern. No, Mom, Vine was just standing up for herself. She shouldn't be punished for that. But she insulted me, Jungkook. How can you defend her? Because she is right. You have been making snide remarks all evening, Maria. Vine has every right to defend herself. Jungkook, can't you see? Vine is nothing but a gold digger. She has done some black magic on you. That's why I'm defending her. You're right, Maria. Vine, I can't have someone like you working for our family. You're fired. But Mrs. John, I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, please, spare us the lies. You're just a maid. You'll be never good enough for Jungkook if you're dreaming about him. Enough, Maya. First see yourself what kind of person you are. Always acting fake in front of everyone. Auntie, I never thought Jungkook would behave like this with me. I thought he loved me. Jungkook, what's going on here? Why are you defending that maid? And why she is talking back to me? Jungkook struggled to contain his anger. Mom, Vine doesn't deserve this. She's been nothing but loyal to us. She insulted Maria, Jungkook. She should apologize to her. She said while walking angrily towards you, but Jungkook stepped forward protectively. No, Mom, I won't let you hurt her. Jungkook, you're making a mistake. You can't choose that girl over Maria. I'm not making a mistake, Mom. I love Vine. Vine won't marry Maria. Tears escaped from your eyes as you squeezed Jungkook's hand. On the other hand, Maria's eyes widened on hearing Jungkook and Mrs. John fumed angrily. Jungkook, how dare you defame her like this? You will marry Maria and that's final. No, Mom, you will have to accept us. Maria, don't worry. Jungkook will come to his senses. He will marry you, not that maid. You slightly touched Jungkook's wrist in order to stop him. Jungkook, please. No, Ryan, don't stop me. I will speak for you, for us and for our relationship. You sniffed and then sighed. As you know, he is not going to listen to you. Mom, I won't marry Maya if it means sacrificing my happiness with Ryan. You gazed Jungkook with tears in your eyes. Mrs. John approached Jungkook and landed a hard slap on his cheek. Jungkook, how dare you speak like that to me? This is unacceptable. Jungkook, in a fit of anger, he grabs you and kissed you passionately. Maya's face color changed. Mrs. John turned her left in anger. After a while, Jungkook pulled apart, then turned towards Maya and Mrs. John while holding your hand. Maya got shocked on seeing all this. Tears streamed down her face. I can't believe this. You have insulted me enough. She rushes out of the house while crying. You have crossed the line, Jungkook. Your father won't accept this relationship. Mark my words. I don't care, Mom. I love Ryan and I won't let anyone come between us. We will see about that. She too left from there. The dining room was left in turmoil with you and Jungkook standing together. Jungkook, he puts his finger on your lips to stop you from speaking anything, then softly peck your forehead, and then he embraces you in his arms. I will handle everything, Ryan. Don't worry, my love. I won't leave you at any condition. You nodded your head on his statement and softly puts your head on his chest to get some peace in this stressful situation. Meanwhile, on the other hand, as Maya flees the mansion, tears streaming down her face, her bodyguard Jackson rushes to her side offering comfort. Ma'am, what happened? Are you okay? He asked worriedly. No, I'm not okay at all. Jungkook, he just cheated on me with his maid. Ma'am, it's alright. Let's get you some air. How can you do this to me? I thought you loved me. Ma'am, you will be okay. You deserve someone who truly values you. He said and stood by her side till she stopped crying. As she stopped crying, she wasted no time and went to Jungkook's dad's office strictly. She burst into his office and acted up dramatically in front of his dad. Uncle, you won't believe what Jungkook did. He kissed that maid Van in front of me and Auntie. He's choosing that maid over me. How dare he embarrass us like this? I won't tolerate this foolishness. Maya breaks down into tears as Mr. John anger fills the room. I can't believe he loves a mere maid over me. It's not fair. Mr. John's expression darkens with his rage as he slams his fist on the desk. Jungkook needs a good lesson. Don't worry, dear. I assure you that Jungkook will marry you only, not that some mere maid, he assured Maria. You left the mansion as Mrs. Jeon fired you. Tears blurred your vision, knowing you won't be able to see Jungkook anymore. Meanwhile, Jungkook confronts his mother, pleading for your job. Mom, you can't do this. Ryan doesn't deserve to be fired. I won't have a maid causing such scandals in our household. She is such a distraction for Jungkook, she said stubbornly, and Jungkook sighed in defeat. Meanwhile, you were walking along the deserted road. Your heart was heavy with the sadness. Suddenly, a sleek Mercedes pulls up beside you, and two men step out. They came towards you and forcefully dragged you inside the car. Yeah, leave me! Where are you taking me? You try to free yourself from their grip. One of them starts driving the car. Come with us, Miss Ryan. Mr. John wants to see you. You stop movements and start to think. What work does he have with me? Back at Mr. John's office, you entered hesitantly, your eyes swollen from crying. Mr. John sits behind his desk, his expression unreadable. Ryan, sit down. We need to talk. What's going on, Mr. John? Why am I dragged here? You were trembling a little in fear. Your employment with us has been terminated, but I have an offer for you. Miss Ryan, I need you to leave Jungkook's life. Your presence is causing too much trouble for our family and for our company. I can't do that, Mr. John. I love Jungkook with all my heart. Please understand. Your voice trembled. You do not love him. You only love his money. And for that, I'm offering a generous sum of money to leave Jungkook alone. Take it and just get out from his life. Your eyes welled up with tears as you shakes your head. No, Mr. John. I can't be bought off. My love for Jungkook is genuine. I won't leave him. Mr. John scoffs and throws a wad of cash at Ryan, frustration evident on his face. Just take the money and get out of here. You're nothing but a trouble. Heartbroken, you stand up and walks out of the office without saying a word, leaving the money behind. You couldn't bear the pain of leaving Jungkook, but you also couldn't hear if someone points out finger on your love for him, as you genuinely loves him. After arguing with his mother to the extent he was not able to handle himself, all that he needed was the presence of you. He was missing you so much that he decides to follow what his heart says and reach your home. He stood at your doorstep, his heart heavy with longing and regret. You opened the door. You got surprised to see him. Jungkook? What are you doing here? Jungkook didn't let you finish as he pulled you into his arms, holding you tightly. Ryan, I can't stay away from you. I need you. I love you more than anything in this world. Your eyes got filled with tears as you met Jungkook's gaze, your heart overflowing with emotion. Jungkook, there's something I need to tell you. Jungkook gently wipes away your tears, his own eyes shining with unshed emotion. Whatever it is, Ryan, we will face it together, I promise. Your voice trembled as you recount Mr. John's ultimatum to Jungkook. Your eyes brimmed with tears. Jungkook, your father, he told me to leave you and you told him the whole story, whatever happened in Dad's office. Jungkook's fist clenched in anger, his jaw tightening as he struggles to contain his emotions. That's ridiculous! How dare he try to control our likes like this? You reaches out to touch his arm, your expression filled with sorrow. Jungkook, I don't want to come between you and your family. Maybe it's best if we go to our separate ways. And maybe we are not meant for each other. Jungkook's heart sinks at your words, his anger towards his father warring with his love for you. No, Ryan, I won't let you go. I love you and I will fight for us no matter what. Your tears fall freely now as you look into Jungkook's eyes, your voice barely a whisper. I want to believe that, Jungkook, but I don't know if your family will ever accept me. I know, Ryan, it's a tough situation, but please don't lose hopes like this, he said, holding your hands in his. Jungkook, just leave me. We are not meant for each other. Ryan, I would give up everything in a heartbeat if it meant keeping you by my side. You have made my life so much brighter, filled it with happiness I knew never existed. Tears well up in Jungkook's eyes, his voice thick with emotion. my company, my home. They are just empty shells without you. I can't bear the thought of losing you. Not after everything we have shared. He reaches out to touch your hand with his trembling one. Please, Ryan, don't ask me to leave you, as I can't imagine my life without you in it. You're everything to me. I will do whatever it takes to prove it to you. Your eyes brimmed with tears. You sighed in defeat. Then you put your head on his chest as he embraced you securely in his arms. In the dimly lit bar, Maya sits slumped over the counter, her tears mixing with the alcohol as she sips her drink. Her bodyguard Jackson, concerned for her well-being, approaches her. Ma'am, are you alright? You had drank enough. Now let me take you home. Maya looks up at Jackson, her eyes red and puffy, but a glint of desperation shines through as she cups his face in her hand. Jackson, I just didn't get what I wanted. I'm so tired of everything falling apart. Their eyes locks in a moment of shared understanding, and without hesitation, Maya leans in, pressing her lips to Jackson's in a passionate kiss. Jackson's eyes widened. He instantly tried to pull her away, but she wasn't letting him. She slowly entered her tongue, and it made him lose control, so he gave in and started kissing her with the same passion. After a while, Jackson's senses snap back into focus and he gently pulls away, his voice filled with concern. Ma'am, this isn't right. You are drunk and I can't. Maria interrupts him, her voice tinged with desperation as she clings to him. Please, Jackson, just for tonight. Let me forget that. With a heavy sigh, Jackson picked up Maria into his arms and carried her out of the bar. As he settles her into the car and reaches to fasten her seatbelt, but she seized the opportunity and pulled him close and again started kissing him fiercely. Jackson got caught off guard by her sudden passion. He struggled to maintain his composure, but at last, he also lost his control over himself, and taking off the layers of clothes one by one, they both shared making out. As the morning light filters into the car, Maya opens her eyes while holding her head. Oh, why it's hurting so much, she mumbled while holding her head. And then she roamed her eyes around and found herself in the car, and then she felt pain in her abdomen. Then she looked down and found herself naked, and when she looked beside it, it was Jackson, her bodyguard, naked by her side. Her eyes widen. She puts her hand on her mouth in shock and she realizes what she did on the previous night. Oh my goodness, what I have done! This is so embarrassing! Jackson, waking up by her side, senses Maria's discomfort and reaches out to reassure her. Ma'am, it's okay. Last night it happened, but we can move past it. Maria's eyes widen with panic as she hurriedly starts to gather her clothes. No, this can't be happening. I can't believe I let things go this far. Jackson, please, forget everything that happened last night. Jackson's heart clenches as Maria's plea. His own emotions were not able to hold more now. Ma'am, I can't just forget about last night, and there's something else I need to tell you. I have been keeping it inside for so long, but I can't hide it anymore. As Maya turns to face him, her eyes wide with surprise, Jackson takes a deep breath, his voice trembling with emotion. Ma'am, I have loved you since the moment I laid eyes on you. For 2 years, I have been carrying these feelings for you, and I can't keep them hidden any longer. I love you with all my heart, ma'am, and I'm ready to take the responsibility for what we did last night. Jackson, don't be absurd. I don't have any kinds of feelings for you. Last night was a mistake, and I want you to forget about it, she said sternly yet firmly. Jackson's heart sinks at Maria's harsh word, but he refuses to back down, his voice steady despite the pain in his chest. Ma'am, I understand if you don't feel the same way, but I can't just forget about what happened, and my feelings for you are real, whether you choose to accept them or not. As Maria's eyes flash with irritation, Jackson gathers his resolve, his voice tinged with sadness. I will respect your wishes, ma'am, but Know that my feelings for you won't disappear. If you ever change your mind, I'll be there. Her expression changed into soft one. In the heated confrontation at home, Mr. John's words cut deep into Jungkook's heart. His father's cold calculation leaving him feeling betrayed and hurt. What is this new drama, Jungkook? You think that maid is worth the time? She's just after your money, nothing more. Marrying Maria will bring you prosperity. So don't be a fool. Just marry Maria. Did you get it? Jungkook's anger boils over, his voice shaking with emotion as he confronts his father. How can you say that, Dad? Wyan means everything to me. She is not just a maid, she is the woman I love. I won't marry Maria, not for profit or anything else. I want Wyan and I won't let anyone stand in our way. Mr. John's face reddened with fury, his voice rising to a thunderous roar. If you choose that mere maid over your family, then leave this house. I won't let you tarnish your reputation for some lowly servant. Jungkook expressionlessly stared his father, then shook his head out of anger and hurt. Okay, Dad. If you love your reputation more than your son, then let it be. I will leave this house. Mrs. John's eyes widened, but Mr. John's expression remained unchanged. In a whirlwind of anger and hurt, Jungkook storms out of the house, his heart heavy with the weight of his father's rejection. He makes his way to Wyan's home, his mind racing with the thought of her. As you open the door, Jungkook's eyes search you, his hand trembling as he cups your face. You sense the mix of sadness and hurt in his eyes. You instantly cups his face with concern in your eyes. Jungkook, you? What happened to you? Are you alright? Wyan, I left everything. Now no one will come between us. Let's be together from now onwards, he said and hugged you tightly. What? Do you mean, Jungkook? Did your family accept our relationship? You asked hopefully. He broke the hug, then looked into your eyes. There's no need for them to accept us. I have left that house. Now no will stop us from loving each other. Your expressions changed. Your eyes flashed with anger and sorrow. Your voice trembled with emotion. Are you crazy, Jungkook? How could you leave your own family for me? This isn't right. You know that? Just go back right now. Wyan, please, I only want you. I'll do anything for us to be together. Please believe me. This is not right, Jungkook. I can't live with you without your parents' consent. But Wyan, they don't care about my feelings. Please try to understand me. They will never accept us. If your parents don't agree for us, then please do whatever they want. Marry Maria. I don't want to scatter your family, Jungkook. If they were my family, then they should have cared about my feelings. Jungkook, you can't disown your parents like this. They have raised you. So respect them and do whatever they want. So now, you want me to marry Maria? His voice trembled as he was hurt now. Yes, if that's what your family wants, and maybe it's not in our destiny to be together. You said holding his hand, but as you finished the sentence, he removed your hand from his and shook his head with sadness. I left everything for you, and here you're asking me to marry some other girl? It shows that you two don't care about my feelings and efforts, just like my family. He said, being hurt. You shook your head in denial. No, Jungkook, you're getting me wrong. Before you could finish your sentence, he turned around to leave. You wanted to stop him, but you didn't, as you wanted him to go back to his parents and do whatever they want. Dad, you want me to marry Maria, right? Yeah, if you want me, your mom, and this company, then you will have to choose Maria over that maid. I'm ready to marry Maria. Start the preparations for marriage, he said, and a drop of tears escaped from his eyes. Yeah, that's like my son. I'm so proud of you for making the right decision. Jungkook's shoulders slumped in defeat as he nodded silently, his sadness palpable in the air. Mrs. John felt bad as he sensed the sadness in his eyes. Good, we will make arrangements for the wedding right away. I won't let you change your mind again. Don't worry, Dad. It won't change now. Jungkook's heart aches with the weight of his decision, but he knows there's no turning back now.